Currently, there are 33 female superstars in WWE's women's division on the main roster. In this video, we are going to pick the biggest win for every wrestler in the WWE women's division. We have determined how big a win is based on the match, the opponent, the show, the achievement, or the impact the win had on their career. Starting off with Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss is a 3-time Raw Women's Champion, 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 2-time Women's Tag Champion, and a Money in the Bank winner. Alexa has won a lot in WWE, but we have decided that Alexa's biggest win is her first ever Raw Women's Championship win, as Alexa defeated Bayley at the 2017 Payback pay-per-view to become the first ever person to win both the SmackDown and Raw Women's titles. Next we have Aaliyah. Aaliyah has had several matches in WWE since debuting in NXT in 2016. However, she is usually on the losing end. Eventually, Aaliyah was rewarded for her efforts, as she got the biggest win of her career in the main event of Raw in August 2022, as she pinned Dakota Kai of Damage Control to win the women's tag team titles with Raquel Rodriguez. Up next we have Asuka. Asuka is a 2-time Raw Women's Champion, 3-time Women's Tag Champion, 1-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 1-time NXT Women's Champion, 1-time Money in the Bank winner, but we picked Asuka's biggest win as her 2018 Royal Rumble win. Asuka made history on this night by being the first female superstar to win the Royal Rumble match. Next we have Bayley. Bayley is a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 2-time Women's Tag Champion, 1-time Raw Women's Champion, and a 1-time NXT Women's Champion. Despite all this success, we have picked Bayley's biggest win as her 2019 Money in the Bank ladder match win. Before this point, Bayley had a rough previous 2 years in WWE, and with this win she was able to cash in later that night to win the SmackDown Women's title. In our opinion, this Money in the Bank win was a career-saving moment for Bayley that started her momentum to becoming the person that she is today. Next we have B-Fab. B-Fab has spent the majority of her WWE career as the manager of Hit Row. Despite this, she has gotten a few opportunities to wrestle on TV. However, B-Fab has only won one match, which happened on the debut episode of NXT 2.0 against Katrina Cortez. This is her only win, which means it's her biggest win. Up next we have Becky Lynch. Becky is a 4-time SmackDown Women's Champion and a 2-time Raw Women's Champion. Becky is possibly the biggest female star WWE have ever created, and this was proven in her biggest win, which was the main event of WrestleMania 35, as she defeated Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey to win both the Raw and SmackDown Women's titles. The popularity of Becky Lynch going into this match helped push this match to the main event of WrestleMania, which was a first for women in WWE. Next we have Bianca Belair. Bianca is a 1-time SmackDown Women's Champion and our current Raw Women's Champion at the time we record this. Bianca has become one of WWE's biggest stars, and we have picked a match that first put her in this position. This match is her WrestleMania 37 match against Sasha Banks for the SmackDown Women's title in the main event. After winning the 2021 Royal Rumble, Bianca picked Sasha to face at WrestleMania 37, and the two had a fantastic match, which ended in Bianca defeating Sasha to win her first ever championship in WWE. Up next we have Candice LeRae. Ever since Candice joined WWE in 2018, her main role is to have good matches, but is usually required to put over her opponent. Since moving to Raw in 2022, she has scored big wins over Damage Control members Dakota Kai and Bayley, but we consider her NXT Women's Tag title win with Indy Hartwell as her biggest win, as the team defeated Ember Moon and Shotzi in a street fight. Next we have Carmella. Carmella is a 1-time SmackDown Women's Champion, a 1-time Women's Tag Team Champion, and a 2-time Money in the Bank winner. You might be shocked to hear that we didn't pick any of these wins as Carmella's biggest win. In April 2018, Carmella cashed in Money in the Bank on Charlotte to win the SmackDown Women's Championship, but we decided to pick Carmella's win at Backlash 2018 as her biggest win, as she successfully defeated Charlotte Flair to retain the title, which gave huge credibility to Carmella's SmackDown Women's title reign that ended up being very good and will likely be the highlight of Carmella's career. Up next we have Charlotte Flair. As of right now, Charlotte Flair is a 7-time SmackDown Women's Champion, 6-time Raw Women's Champion, 2-time NXT Women's Champion, 1-time Women's Tag Champion, and a Royal Rumble winner. No one in the WWE Women's division has as many big match wins as Charlotte Flair, meaning we had several matches to choose from. After a long evaluation, we decided Charlotte's biggest win took place at WrestleMania 32. This was Charlotte's WrestleMania debut, as she walked in as Divas Champion and walked out as the Women's Champion after defeating Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks in a show-stealing match in the highest-attended event in WWE history. Charlotte Flair was effectively WWE's face for their transformation of the Divas division into the Women's division on this night. We will take a quick breather just to recommend that you check out some of our other videos after this video, such as our WWE Superstars Greatest Matches series starring Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and more. Next we have Chelsea Green. Chelsea just recently returned to WWE at the 2023 Royal Rumble. During her first stint in WWE and NXT, she did not manage to get many wins, but we have picked her last NXT match as her biggest win, as she teamed with Charlotte Flair on the 2020 May 27th episode of NXT to defeat Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley. Up next we have Dakota Kai. Dakota is a two-time Women's Tag Team Champion and a two-time NXT Women's Tag Team Champion. Since joining WWE in 2017, Dakota has had great matches with nearly all of the top talent that we see in the WWE Women's division today, but she is usually on the losing side. Dakota has been the MVP of several War Games matches over the years and has beaten big opponents on the main roster with damage control. After evaluating every Dakota Kai win in WWE, we have picked her second Women's Tag Team title win with Io Sky at the 2022 Crown Jewel, as the team had a great match in Saudi Arabia with Alexa Bliss and Asuka, as Dakota got her first ever pinfall on a WWE pay-per-view by pinning Alexa Bliss and starting her current Women's Tag title reign, which is currently the most successful title reign she has had in WWE. Next we have Dana Brooke. Ever since Dana debuted in WWE in 2015, she has faced all the top names in the company, and she is a multi-time champion. Unfortunately for Dana, she has lost the majority of these matches, and the only title she has won is the 24/7 Championship. We have picked a Dana Brooke 24/7 title defense as her biggest win, as she got an upset win over Becky Lynch on the June 6, 2022 episode of Raw. Up next we have Emma. Emma recently returned to WWE after a 5-year absence. Emma is another superstar that has more losses than wins. Despite this, we were able to pick her biggest win as a fatal 5-way win on the October 9, 2017 edition of Raw, as she defeated Bayley, Alicia Fox, Dana Brooke, and last pinned Sasha Banks to win the match. Next we have Io Sky. Io is a two-time Women's Tag Team Champion with fellow Damage Control member Dakota Kai. She is a former NXT Tag Team Champion, and she is a former NXT Women's Champion. We have picked her NXT Women's Championship win over Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley at the 2020 NXT TakeOver in Your House. An excellent match which kickstarted a great NXT Women's title reign for Io. Up next we have Lacey Evans. When Lacey debuted on the main roster, she was put against WWE's biggest names such as Becky Lynch, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte Flair quite early in her career. She has managed to pin 75% of the 4 horsewomen, and we decided to pick one of these matches as Lacey's biggest WWE win. We picked her win over Bayley on the January 17, 2020 edition of SmackDown, as she defeated the SmackDown Women's Champion to earn a title match at the 2020 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Liv Morgan is next. Liv has slowly worked her way up the WWE card in recent years, battling some of the biggest names in WWE, usually in a losing effort. In 2022, we started to see clear progress in Liv's ability as she looked ready for the championship spotlight, which she achieved at the 2022 Money in the Bank pay-per-view, as she cashed in the Money in the Bank on Ronda Rousey to win her first championship, the SmackDown Women's title. However, we have picked her Money in the Bank win, which made that cash impossible, as her biggest win, as she knocked Becky Lynch off the ladder to win a star-studded Money in the Bank match, which kick-started a good run at the top of the SmackDown Women's division for Liv Morgan. Next we have Mia Yim. Mia Yim returned to WWE in late 2022. Ever since she joined Raw, she has been in the same position that she had in NXT. In NXT, she had some low-level single wins and some tag team wins, which has been the story of her current Raw run. We have picked a recent match as Mia Yim's best win, as she defeated Io Sky on the January 16, 2023 Raw episode. Up next we have Natalya, a former Divas champion and a former SmackDown Women's champion. Natalya has won the most women's matches in WWE history, and she has the most wins for a female in WWE history. Surprisingly, despite these impressive records, we actually did not have many big wins to choose from, so we picked her 2017 SummerSlam win against Naomi as she won the SmackDown Women's Championship, which was her first title win in 7 years. Next we have Nikki Cross. Nikki is a former Raw Women's Champion and a former 3-time Women's Tag Team Champion. In July 2021, Nikki Cross cashed in Money in the Bank to win the Raw Women's title on Charlotte Flair. However, we have picked Nikki Cross' shocking Money in the Bank win 24 hours earlier as she defeated several top talents to win the briefcase that led to her first ever singles title win in WWE. Up next we have Piper Niven. Piper Niven's run in WWE has been best known under the name Doudrop. Doudrop found early success in 2022 as she challenged Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's title at the 2022 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We have picked the match that made this match a reality, and that was her January 10th, 2022 #1 contender match against Bianca Belair and Liv Morgan. Doudrop won this match in the main event of Raw. Next we have Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel is an upcoming star on SmackDown who has had battles with stars such as Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan. Before her time on SmackDown, she was introduced to NXT as the bodyguard of Dakota Kai. At the April 2021 NXT TakeOver event, Raquel got out of Dakota's shadow as she gained the biggest win of her career over Io Shirai as she won the NXT Women's Championship. Up next we have Ronda Rousey. In WWE, Ronda is a 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion and she is a 1-time Raw Women's Champion. During her 2 runs in WWE, she has beaten and defended the title against top stars such as Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, and Liv Morgan. However, we haven't picked a title match as Ronda's biggest win. We picked Ronda's WWE in-ring debut as she teamed with Hall of Famer Kurt Angle to take on Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Ronda impressed the fans with her performance on her debut, which led to fans welcoming her into the business going forward. Ronda made Stephanie tap out to get the victory with Kurt Angle. Just another quick reminder after this video to check out some of our recent videos ranking the greatest Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions ever, our picks for the top 10 greatest women's WrestleMania matches, and our ranking of the entire WWE Women's division. Next we have Rhea Ripley. Rhea is a 1-time NXT Women's Champion, a 1-time Women's Tag Team Champion, and she just recently won the 2023 Women's Royal Rumble match. We have picked her Raw Women's title win at WrestleMania 37 against Asuka as her biggest win. Rhea had only showed up on Raw 3 weeks before this match and showed an immediate impact on the brand by defeating Asuka in a very good match to become Raw Women's Champion. Up next we have Scarlett. Scarlett is the manager of Karrion Kross and so far has only had 1 televised match in WWE. This happened on the 2023 January 6th episode of SmackDown as she teamed with Kross to defeat Emma and Madcap Moss. She technically has the best win-loss percentage on this list as she has won her only match, thus making this her best and only win. Next we have Shayna Baszler. Shayna is a former 2-time NXT Women's Champion and a former 2-time Women's Tag Team Champion. Despite being champion at the time, we haven't picked a championship defense match. At Survivor Series 2019, WWE booked Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch against SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley against NXT Women's Champion Shayna Baszler. This match main event Survivor Series and was won by Shayna, so we consider this Shayna's biggest win in WWE. Up next we have Shotzi. Since joining SmackDown in 2021, Shotzi hasn't had too much success. However, she was more successful in NXT as her biggest win was her NXT Women's Tag Team title win with Ember Moon, as Shotzi pinned Dakota Kai, who teamed with Raquel on the 2021 March 10th episode of NXT to become the second team ever to win the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Next we have Sonya Deville. At the time of recording this, Sonya hasn't won a singles match on TV in nearly 3 years and she has never won a title in WWE. Despite the lack of wins, Sonya did pick up a big win on the 2018 January 15th episode of Raw as she got an upset win over Sasha Banks. Next we have Tamina Snuka. Tamina has been in WWE since 2010 and in our opinion has had a pretty lackluster career considering how long she has been on the WWE roster. Her biggest win and her biggest achievement was her women's tag title win with Natalya on the 2021 May 14th episode of SmackDown as the team defeated Shayna and Nia Jax to win the titles. Up next we have Tegan Nox. Tegan is another superstar that has yet to win championship gold in WWE. In NXT she was usually on the losing end of things, while on the main roster she hasn't had a lot of opportunities. She earned a big opportunity on the 2020 Great American Bash Night 1 edition of NXT as she defeated Candice LeRae, Mia Yim and her rival Dakota Kai in an elimination match to earn a title shot against the NXT Women's Champion. Up next is Valhalla. Better known as Sarah Logan, Sarah is another superstar that has yet to win championship gold as she has not had much success in WWE. Her biggest win happened on the 2018 August 6th episode of Raw as she teamed with Liv Morgan as Riot Squad, defeated the team of Sasha Banks and Bayley after Sarah rolled up Sasha while holding the tights to pin Sasha and to get her biggest win. Next we have Xia Li. Xia is another superstar that has yet to have much success in WWE, which is becoming a common pattern for those on the roster with names at the end of the alphabet, it seems. Xia's biggest WWE win is her debut match on SmackDown on the 2022 February 25th episode of SmackDown as she defeated Natalya. Last but certainly not least, we have Zelina Vega. Zelina started in WWE as a manager. She started to get opportunities for a short time in 2020 before being released. Zelina returned to WWE in summer of 2021 but went on a losing streak until the first ever Queen Crown tournament. Zelina Vega reached the finals of the tournament in Crown Jewel at the 2021 Crown Jewel pay-per-view as she got the biggest win of her career by defeating Doudrop, which led to Zelina being the queen of WWE. The momentum of this win resulted in a women's tag team title run with Carmella and a well-deserved push for Zelina Vega. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Check out the channel for more videos, leave a comment if you agree with our picks, and we thank you for watching.